Hey, I'm whipping together some bread here. I got some oatmeal in a bowl and I just put some water in it, cold water. And here is like 2 cups of bread flour, some of the sourdough starter from the fridge. I didn't build it up that much, so I don't have that much to go on. And then just going to throw the oatmeal right in there. And I need a little bit more water still. And I've already got my water boiling from my proof box. Dang it. Wet, dry, wet, dry, wet, dry. Salt this. So yeah, I'm making bread like once a week. Thing is, I eat it fast, man. That's why I try to put a lot of good stuff in there. I've got fava ground, flax seeds in here. Not fava bean. That's another good thing. Fava bean has something called penticin in it, and so do flax seeds, and they like to, yeast likes to eat that. So we just do the same one process I always do. Keep adding water. Might add a little bit more salt. Oh, you notice I never add the salt and the yeast at the same time. I give them spread area. Like right now, put a little bit more yeast in. I put a little bit of, I put a cup of AP in, and then I put some high gluten in to offset that. And then I had to add a little bit more high gluten because we have oatmeal in there, and so every time you add something to every time you add something, get that box nice and steamy in there. Every time you add something to your bread, it interferes with your gluten structure buildup. So if I were to add like all oatmeal to just AP flour, the bread would not rise the way, it would not have the structure that it would with bread flour. And then once I add in a little bit of the, oh man, I added too much water. That's easy to fix. Okay. So wet dough. I like wet dough sometimes. They're a lot easier to work with. Some flours soak up a lot more are a lot wetter and have a lot less bonding, like bulgur flour or whole wheat flour, because it still has some of the bran in it, and the other types of flours, you know. Every time rye flour, my brain's stuck on the types of flours there are right now. My brain's kind of stuck right now. I'm just trying to survive. Telling you, man, I'm in so much pain, and the juggle ain't no juggle. There we go. Now we got the ball. That's dough ball. See? I try to make it in a glass so you can see. Flip it every once in a while. This action is actually really hard on me of late because my electric shocks in my neck and all that. You guys know. Alright, so right off the bat, I'm going to get that off of there without getting my hands sticky. Too sticky. And then flour my deck. Turn the bowl over. Even scrape this stuff off the bottom. Because right now the dough is still being created. All little pieces can get caught up in it. It's later that you don't add pieces. Get another boiling pot over here. I'm scrubbing the bowl because it's super easy as soon as you make it to scrub the bowl. Anytime you wait with flour and anything, like the bowl's clean that fast. A little water in it. I did it with cold water and a brush too. And I put a little soap in it and wash it real quick by hand. So we're going to need this. I'm talking about a lot of things about, because we have propositions coming up, and I like to be informed and political, and I also like to inform people on. I have a unique standpoint. One, that I tell the truth about what's going on the streets with drugs and medical marijuana and recovery and me and that whole thing. I also tell the truth about food pretty good too. That's what the show is about. But those are issues, and homelessness, those are issues that that I understand and I've conquered, and and so I have a unique insight. I wasn't. There's so many, if you read my stuff about Peace Up, you'd be like, oh, you get a little bit more of an understanding of the addiction out there, the people in the addiction game. Man, it's not all black and white, man. There's a lot of gray out there. There's a lot of really black. That's bad, and we need to bring that to the surface. The only way to bring it to the surface is to actually re-establish our communities. And then people will be like, I had enough of thieves and people who are loading people up with too much heroin, they're ODing, and things like that, man, and getting it to our kids. Eventually you get tired of all that, and you're willing to make a stand for that. And, yeah. So I even bust out the CIs, man. Cops got CIs, and they bust them for something really bad, doing a lot of, moving a lot of meth. I've seen this many times. And one I knew was happening right next to me. I mean, it's going to be in my book. You guys are going to be amazed. But anyways, so these CIs have their little crews around them, helping them move all their stuff, because that's what they do, is they move a lot of meth, quarter pounds a day, right? A lot. And they're allowed to do it, and then they go and they tell on a big circle of people around them. Now eventually they wind up going to jail, but they don't go to jail for the 10 years that they were looking at before, the 5 years or the 8 years. They go to jail for maybe 2 or 3 years, or to prison. And they try to get them into programs and all this, and it's a big facade, dude. So what happens is they bust one of these CIs. Now they don't bust her crew, okay, or her crew gets in and out, not real fast, but reasonably fast, right? They don't get any really big marks unless they get caught red-handed doing something. Now that was one thing, was her and her buddies decided to go out and go thieving and buying all this stolen stuff up. And then every time she got busted, this is how the sheriffs would play it, man. Every stolen item in the house became a separate incident. So, you know, every couple months, they got CIs out there working, and they got some CIs out there working in like heroin who can't get off the heroin. They got some CIs working who can't get off the meth. They can't, or hoes who can't get off the street, and people like that, and they use them, man. They're bullies, dude. All this bullying on the street, man. That's really what's up. You realize that these are real people. I mean, the game out there is hardcore and it sucks. And guess what? It hasn't turned into a hardcore zoo on these streets. And you guys be blessed, thankful that it hasn't yet. And we got an opportunity to stop it. And hell with this social experiment that everybody keeps saying. I'm going to keep saying that. Even though people go, I don't know, you know. Maybe like the whole Occupy. I used to say Occupy was a bad way of saying it. You know, it's like an insurgency. Why don't you say, hey, we're here as an American army of peace, you know, or something like that. That's what I thought was always a good idea. But, you know, it's not. Stand Up worked. Somebody liked that a lot. I came up with that in 2007. Started talking about stand up, and just one of my phases of trying to use a catchy phrase to motivate some of my work and some of my readings and some of my concepts. I actually have an email that says stand up on it. And then they did the whole cancer to it, and it says stand up to. And that's kind of like what peace up was. It says peace, you know, I mean, look at all my things. I mean, the tag is supposed to be, you know, the peace and the up, and then this is here, and this is an arrow, and it's above it. Ow! Yeah. I'm going to let you guys go, because I listened to some of my tapes earlier, and when I'm making them noises, it just ain't cool at all. But when I was singing, that was pretty cool, right? And yeah, it's like, yeah, man. Tribe Called Red, man, that was powerful, good music. Music brings me out. Kids bring me out. Or just joy of like certain things bring me out. And it's a fight, you know. It don't bring me out right away sometimes, you know. It's really crazy to be inside your own body and it doesn't do what you want it to do. And I swear to you, as God's my witness, there ain't nothing wrong with my brain, man. My body is all twisted up. Anybody who's a doctor has sat down with me for like half an hour with a chart and the human body and the muscle skeletal structure, I had to sit there and really fill their ear and be like this, da-da-da, and this is hypothesis. And if my hypotheses be correct, then, you know, and I keep testing it. I keep testing it through the scientific method. I keep testing all their theories, you know, and don't hit me with hogwash theories, you know. And don't hit me like, you know, I know what a good doctor is now, and I know what a bad one is. And it's pretty easy to tell if you're an intelligent person when you're getting a boogle run around, right? And nobody likes that. Nobody deserves that, especially when you're ill. All right, so I'm going to get off my high horse, clean my deck, put this in the thing. Pretty cool. What, maybe 10, 13 minutes, right?